All right. Welcome back to the Baytown Babysitters Club. And in this episode, we're doing a Peacock movie where the movie can be found on Peacock.
Yeah.
It's from 2018. It's called The Endless.
The Endless.
Yes. So, pretty creative concept.
Mhm.
Definitely interesting. What did
Mhm.
you all right. So, I guess the idea of this movie is two guys escape a UFO death cult,
Mhm.
and then one of the brothers suggests that they go back to the death cult just to get some closure, spend some time after receiving a weird tape that essentially led them to believe that the cult was going to commit mass suicide.
Yeah. Or that
And
they decided not to.
or
That
yeah, or something. And so they
vagueness.
yeah, the vagueness of it. So they go and they intend on spending one day, one night, and coming back. And, it just opens up into an entire movie of a bunch of different things.
Yeah.
So let's jump
Alice in
into it.
Wonderland. So
What did you think?
I really liked the ending. I thought the first like 2/3 of the movie were kind
Mhm,
of like didn't hate it, but it
mhm.
was just kind of like get to the point.
So where did it kick off for you?
When the one brother, I guess the older brother, tried to
Mhm.
leave. He got in the
Okay.
car, the battery ran out, and then he's starting to the end list is a like people are in eternal loops
Mhm.
in this like in this land, I
Yeah.
guess in like Northern California. Um which I liked. I liked that, like being trapped in endless, like being trapped in a loop, you
Yeah.
know. And I wish we had wish we would have seen more of that,
Mhm.
those loop places. I really enjoyed that. I enjoyed it a lot more than just the spooky cult stuff.
Mhm.
Like just kind of like conversations and things like that, and like vagueness.
Mhm.
Because a lot of it's like they come back and then there's the one guy and they're just talking about random shit. And then like, but they have a party every night. And then there's
Mhm.
like some woman there who keeps putting signs around the park to be quiet, but she's not part of the group. She's there looking for her husband, all of these like small stories that were like not, they were part of the story, but you didn't need them part of the story kind of feeling, you
Okay.
know? But well, yeah, once the end peaked, once that whole like everything, all the puzzle pieces came together
Mhm.
and I started understanding what was going on,
Mhm.
I was like, oh, that's cool.
Yeah.
I like that. I like that idea a lot. Um, it feels like all the cult stuff was kind of like rough draft ideas,
Mhm.
and then but the big main idea they had was, yeah, this places of loops, bubble loops, where people are just living either 5 seconds, like the guy from the like
In the
n-
tent.
yeah, in the tent from it looks like
Yeah.
1910, somewhere
Yeah.
around there. And then you have like the guy who committed suicide, but he's still there,
Yeah.
you know. And then the the really weird two guys,
Yeah. The gun nut and the
the
crack.
tweaker, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
And then yeah, I mean Alice in Wonderland, like she goes a little bit further down the rabbit hole and then she finds this character and then this character. And I like that. So what'd you think?
I liked it a lot. I think that the cult was a big necessity to the movie,
Okay.
and it honestly takes a little bit of a back seat, but the cult worships this god that, or this thing that we never see. We
Yeah.
only see people seeing it from its perspective,
Yeah.
and I really enjoyed that.
Hmm.
um I thought that that was a really good take on it. Instead of having to like produce this thing, just leave it Lovecraftian. There's no explanation,
Hmm.
there's no physical embodiment, but we know it's there.
Hmm.
Like the most we see is that girl's drawing of two eyes over top of the mountain,
Hmm.
and that's about it. And it's just essentially a black mass.
Yeah.
So I really liked the cult aspect because what it appeared to me like was the they say in the movie that there's no leaders to this cult, but the guy who's kind of talks the most, he says like, I just talk the most. um he's tricking people into staying and dying with them so that they're stuck there forever.
Yeah.
um and that's what we see. That's why I think that the girl that writes the notes like, please be quiet, I think that that's why she's there, is to show that he's tricking people, because she's never going to find her husband,
No.
but he says stay here, and um we'll help you find him. Well,
Hmm.
eventually she's going to be stuck there. We know that because of what the other guy in the shed said.
Yeah.
So those two things, like those things are necessary, and they can be like taken for like face value of like, like you said, it doesn't need to be there, but it adds nuance to him showing that he's like tricking people into staying. These people
Hmm.
haven't come to this cult by choice. He pulled these two brothers out of a burning car on the side of the road
Yeah.
and tried to keep them there. They left before they ended up in the time loop. um the girl that was hanging around the tweaker came to them before, and then ended up in the time loop. So like
Mm.
he's gathering people to this time loop, and then they're stuck there, so they might as well make the best of it,
Yeah.
basically. um so I liked that whole idea. The time loops were really cool. I liked
Yeah.
seeing the different time loops. I agree with you, I wish there was more of them. And yeah, in the first like 20 to 30 minutes of the movie, I was like, okay,
Mm.
this was a bad idea.
Yeah.
But then it started picking up, and they actually got to the cult thing. And there was a little bits of comedy in there, like when they're trying to sleep and he's like, maybe she's a pedophile. And he's like, in order for a man to have sex, and he's like, go to sleep. And then he's like, in order for it, go to sleep. Like that whole thing, like that
Yeah.
whole exchange, I was like laughing at that. Like, um,
Yeah. I
but
slept with her last night. Oh,
yeah, yeah, congratulations.
congratulations.
Yeah.
Yep. We just tuckered in and went to bed. Like,
Yeah.
that's not usually what people mean when they say we slept with each other. They
Yeah.
usually mean sex. And he's like, well, that's stupid.
Yeah.
It's just
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
um, but yeah, those are the like the conversations that are good.
Hmm.
That, but just the thing that like really dragged me down was like, we're gonna go fishing, and then like something small and interesting would happen. He goes down and he finds the box with the cassette tape.
Hmm.
Clearly it's a cassette tape, but they put it in a VCR as if it's a VCR tape. I mean, a VHS. Like it's like this little motherfucking cassette tape. It looks like. Did you
Well,
notice that?
I have little VHS tapes.
Well, yeah, but it wasn't.
They're
It just
from like handicaps, or handicaps. They're from handicaps. They're from handycams, but like you see through like the years when that guy finally unchains that little
yeah.
nook thing, that
How long they've been
that's
doing it?
how it's communicating with them, is through pictures,
Yeah,
records, tapes, CDs, DVDs, like whatever. So that's its choice of communication.
yeah,
So I mean, and when the movie starts, he gets like one of those little those
Yeah.
one of those little tapes. So I mean, it could have just been one of those.
Yeah, and finds the most luckiest yard sale in the world.
Yeah, dude, I was like, man, that's gold mine. And then when he picked up the one thing where he was like, he's like, oh, I gotta find something for this tape to play.
Yeah, it just holds it up like, yeah,
And he's
shit,
like,
might work.
no, that's not gonna work, dude. That's like 4 times the size of that
Yeah.
thing. Like he held a Walkman up to a VHS and was like, nope, won't play. Like,
Yeah.
what the hell, man?
Hmm.
But yeah, I mean, I enjoyed it. I thought it was good, and it was like it was eerie. It produced like it gave like a eerie, intense, like creepy feel to it.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, I mean that I don't know what else is there. Let's go to the Holy Trinity. Would you watch this in theaters?
Nah.
Nah, me either. Uh, Thriller Kill.
I'm gonna go kill.
Yeah.
Yeah, it was good, but it wasn't good enough to like thrill my ass.
The only reason I'm gonna go kill is because it took me like 6.5 hours to watch this because my internet would not work.
Oh,
So I just kept getting the buffering screen until I eventually just watched it on my goddamn phone. So it was a killer for me for
yeah.
that reason. What was your other thing? What was the new thing that you
Now you
added?
think this will ever become a cult classic
No,
movie? You
no.
don't? Yeah. There might be like somebody down the line that's like, this movie's great, but I don't see it being like a Killer Clowns from Outer Space or a fucking Troll 2
Yeah,
cult
yeah.
classic.
All right. How many stars?
I'm gonna give it 2. I'm gonna give it a 2-star movie.
All right. Yeah, I think that I'm gonna give it a 2.5 star movie.
Yeah.
All right. Well, that's our episode on the endless. Tune in next week to see how Jerry's going to try and fix another movie.